Okay, so here what we got is a Homelite 330 chainsaw. I already started tearing it apart and I thought I wanted to try to videotape it. I determined I need a magneto, so I'm going to have to tear it apart now for the third, fourth time. Um, so anyway, obviously, you need to take this off. You need to take the screws off on this handle, which I already did, which takes this 5/32 Allen wrench tool for a bit. I already pulled my muffler off, as you can see. It's a nice muffler. I like the idea that it opens up and you can clean the screen and almost use it forever, I guess. Same with that. You could rewind that if you had to. It's a very good built saw. Not definitely not the easiest thing to open up, although you'll see it's fairly simple. This whole top half takes off and the thing's open. Problem is a lot of little screws you gotta take off before you get started. So this is the only one. These Allen wrench ones mostly are like where these like bushings are that control the vibration. This one right here at the top here, for some reason this one has these little plates on each side. So that's the only one you have to make sure you have that on. See, and then it's kind of like a bushing in there. I greased them all. I don't know if you have to or want to, but I did. I've been greasing everything just so it comes apart easy. The oil reserve, believe it or not, you don't have to mess with it. At no time does it leak, provided you leave the cap on. Here's one back here. Oh no, I already took it out. That's because there's a bushing in there also that controls the motor. The motor and all that sort of is independent of this because it mounts on those engine mounts. This way, otherwise you would be feeling all the vibration all the time. So, now that I did those, I did the handle thing. Even though I did the handle thing, it's not the easiest thing that comes off. You sort of have to give it a little muscle in there to flex it, and then it comes off, as you can see. And the chain bar I already took off. That's pretty simple. Most people can figure that out. You take your two nuts off, and then that cover comes off. And these are on each side of your bar. One of mine's broke though. That's your chain itself. So anyway, you see I'm flipping this upside down here. And after taking it apart so many damn times, came to realize a little faster using 8mm. Set up on a drill here. Whack these out a lot faster. The handle back here has these smaller ones. And it's just the bottom half of the cover of the handle. You do need to remove it though because there's one casing screw underneath here. Now let me give you a little tip. When you go to put these back in, if you use a drill or something, go backwards real slow. About 1 or 2 times you'll feel the tip of your screw go down into the thread. This way you properly are started in your thread, and then go forward slow. That keeps you from messing up your thread hole. Kind of whack these out on the way out. You definitely do not want to over torque them on the way in. It's just an aluminum casing, so I know that drill. I'm familiar with it, so I know how much power I'm giving it. You'll see this bottom half here just kind of pops off. Oh, I did forget. There's one Allen wrench screw underneath the handle there. Like I said, it's kind of problematic with once you get familiar with those where all those Allen head screws are. Once you do it like one time, it becomes simple. So now this will just pop off, as you can see. Now, I've watched other videos, people, they're having, even in spite of everything being off, this top half and the gas tank are kind of sandwiched together, and I've seen a couple people have a problem with taking it off and put it back on. There's nothing there holding it, it's just that it's kind of stuck in between. Now, what I came to realize is the gas tank is sort of wedged in there, so pop that a little bit. Sometimes I can do it fast and sometimes I can't. Sooner or later I'll figure it out. Now, here's something you should probably take note of. See them wires? Okay. The one going to the ground of the body goes to that front prong. Front prong being the one coming off the magneto goes here. If you get them flipped, it won't spark. In my case, what happened is I did have them screwed up and then I put them back properly. But I only get a spark when I spin this with the drill really fast. At any kind of slow speed, it doesn't spark. So there's no way that you can pull it fast enough to have a spark like that. So, and this is the only time I ever seen a toggle switch like this, which is the kill switch, that if you carefully mess with it, it'll actually unsnap and that whole toggle will come out and the little spring in there and everything. Believe it or not, it all goes back together and you can snap it together, but it's the first I've ever seen that. Okay, let's see what I'm possibly forgetting here. I'm forgetting something. Oh, I am forgetting something. Okay, my fault. Getting frustrated. There's two screws here. One there, one there. They happen to be 1/4 inch socket. So, yeah, if you try to tear that off, what's going to happen is you're going to tear your kind of like an expandable boot. That whole plate is on an expandable boot hooked onto the top of your head, and that acts like kind of reminds you of like one of those commode plungers, the way it's shaped. It's got like ribs around it, and it's it's made soft so it can move. It also apparently is a main problem with these because it breaks. Okay, so the reason you want to take the oil pump off now is because it sort of overlaps here and it's in your way. If it wasn't for that, you wouldn't even have to take it off. But you can just release it like that if you wanted to, or you can go like this and take it off. Now, so far I haven't had any oil leak out, but I guess if you leaned it at the right angle, it probably would come out of there. And while you have this open, you want to clean all this and blow these holes out. Make sure that it blows out over here where it's supposed to oil your chain, which is right there. You want to make sure that that's a clean hole. Now this is free to come off, but back to what I was saying, it's still kind of wedged on the threads of your filler hole for the gas tank. Now this sucker sometimes will just come right off, and then other times there's probably an easier way. know that's what it is though, because I don't want to do that too many times. Trying to double check here to make sure I didn't forget something. Funny thing is it goes on a whole lot easier. For some reason, I'm starting to think I forgot something. Comes off, they're going to be laughing at me. Well, I'll remove a couple more things here to see if I just did it a little bit ago, so. Up your ground wire. As you see, gas tank and everything came off. Funny, like I said, it's, well, when you go to put it back together, you go like this. You put your gas tank in there, in that spot. You'll fish this in there inside this hole. This is actually not supposed to have a vent for the fuel tank. Reason being, it uses like a little Ilco valve, I want to say, if I remember it right. I just did this because I knew I had a second hole in the gas tank. And, you know, if you leave it open, what happens is you end up losing your fuel. It evaporates right away. So I rigged mine up in there with that. I actually found the part and I'm going to order it online. So you have to make sure you don't pinch that. And then you're getting your gas tank lined up. Believe it or not, it all snaps together a whole lot easier than the way it came apart. See that switch I was talking about? You can unsnap that and everything. So when you pull the gas tank back out, that goes in there. There's a hole right there for it. And there's a fuel filter inside there, which I changed all that. This is that main part that I said. A lot of times people get a crack right there, so it don't have suction, so therefore it doesn't work properly. Okay, now take off these shorties on each side of this magneto cover. Those two I already took off over here. I already took them off, and then there's one right there. That's your cover. Covers the magneto. Now I was just going to order mine, but I didn't have a picture of it, so I want to make sure I get the right animal. You notice all these have been 8mm. These two are a little bit longer. Okay, that's your animal there. Let me see number on it. Magnifying glass. $403,620. That's what I see on this one. And that can only go on one way. That bump out. The bigger one goes down into the gully of the fins. Strong magnet. I mean, really strong. Surprisingly. Doesn't look like you can open up the head. You'd have to take it all apart and take the piston out from the other side, I guess. So that's it. I had already taken this carburetor apart three times and cleaned it really good. I put new stuff in it not too long ago. But I think since I'm going to order the magneto, I'm going to order a new kit for that. And just have it in there. Fuel lines are new. I always want to do new fuel lines. And I think I'm going to check into this gasket right there where the carburetor mounts. And the oil pump mounts there. Now, the one guy said that you should fill these up with oil, kind of to prime it up, then you put it back on, which I did. I'm also going to order a new spark plug. The follow-up will be, I'll put it all back together with new parts.